Hi scholars, welcome back. This is your second grade Eureka Math answer key for your week 1 packet. Please keep checking in on this channel for me to be uploading more lessons, and I'll also be uploading an answer key for each work packet. This answer key is for your first packet, week 28. Looks like this one. Lessons 1 through 5. Here is page 1, lesson 1, sprint test core fluency set A. You should have already completed all of this work before checking over your answers. Please pause on this slide here to check over your answers. Lesson 1 application problem, page 2. There are 6 more penguins than whales. Lesson 1 problem set, pages 3, 4, and 5. Here is page 3, problems 1 and 2. Filling in the data table. Number 1 uses tally marks. Number 2 uses numerals. Problems 3 and 4, answering the questions based on the data table, animal habitats, and then animal classification. You're using number sentences for most of these to solve. Here is the next lesson, lesson 2. You see core fluency lesson 1 again. Sets A and B. You should have done just one of the sprint tests depending on where you finished for the previous sprint. Pages 6 and 7. Lesson 2 application problem, page 8. Here's the answers. This is called a tape diagram model, so it helps us compare the story problem and the numbers. Gemma saw 18 more robins and ducks than squirrels. Lesson 2 problem set, pages 10 and 11. Here's problem 1. You are to use the grid paper to complete a picture graph using the circles. Here's the title, the legend. Each circle equals one animal. These are categories. And then we only use circles here because it's a picture graph. Over here are the answers to the questions. And then here is a good example of a comparison question you could have created. Page 11, problem 2. Use the table below to create a picture graph in the space provided. The data table is about animal habitats, desert, tundra, and grassland. Again, this is very similar to the previous picture graph, but this one's different. It is sideways or horizontal. Lesson 3 application problem, page 13. Part A, use the tally chart to fill in the picture graph for the number of books Jose read and Laura read. B, draw a tape diagram to show how many more books Jose read than Laura. C, if Jose, Laura, and Linda read 21 books altogether, how many books did Linda read? So you will need to fill in tally marks for how many Linda read, and then you'll be filling in the picture graph using circles to represent the number of books each person read. Answer is that Linda read 8 books. Here's the chart right here. And then here is that tape diagram model to compare how many more books Jose read than Laura. Linda read 8 books. Here is an example of a horizontal bar graph. Moving on to bar graphs, we were just talking about picture graphs. Animal classification. So we have a title, categories. This is called a scale. 0 through 12, it's counting by ones, and then we have to shade in the squares to represent the bars. So this is different than a picture graph because it's using bars and it has a scale. Here is a vertical bar graph for animal habitats. Lesson 3, sprint test, pages 14 through 15. Here are the answers. Feel free to pause to check over your work. Lesson 3 problem set, pages 16 through 17. Number 1, complete the bar graph. For animal classification, make sure you fill in and label each blank spot, and then check over your work for the answers at the bottom. Problem 2, complete the bar graph using a different data table, animal habitats. Lesson 4 sprint test, pages 18 through 19. Lesson 4 problem set, pages 21 through 22. You are completing a bar graph for types of bugs. Again, the most important parts you need to have labeled is the title, categories, the scale, and then shade in the bars. Answers are at the bottom. Here's a new bar graph, problem 2, O'Brien's farm animals. Lesson 4, application problem, page 23. Here is what you should have done for the bar graph, and the answers are at the bottom. Lesson 5, application problem, page 28. Carlos has 8 pennies. Lesson 5, problem set, pages 31 through 32. Bar graph for number of dimes. Lesson 5, problem set, page 32, problem 2. Number of dimes donated. This is a new one. And that concludes our video for your answers to lessons 1 through 5. Thanks for watching. Check back in for more answer keys and lessons on this channel. Bye-bye.